Hi there, everybody. I am Susie from Start a Mom Blog, and this is...
John from Start a Mom Blog.
And we just want to give you guys a little recap. This week has been our first official week as both work-at-home parents. John retired from his job.
It is the beginning of my fun employment, which I heard that term for the first time this week. Pretty cool. My fun employment.
Fun employment is awesome. So we came back from the holidays with our family, and we kind of want to give you guys a recap of how our first week went. It's still kind of rough figuring it all out, but next week should be like back in schedule because the kids go back to school. All right, so let's get into the questions that you guys sent us. We're super excited to go through them. First one is from Christelle Gutierrez. Do you find that you're both more goal-oriented now that there's no regular paycheck? Thanks for the reminder. And is that making your relationship even stronger? Yes, definitely. We are super goal-oriented, like hour by hour. It's like, okay, this is what I'm going to accomplish in my work session, and then John will let me know what he's going to accomplish. And on the second part of that question, yes, I feel like we're much better as a team. We kind of have to be now because we're managing it all. What's your take?
Yeah, I think that we are just as goal-oriented, but we're more able to be accountable to those goals now. Because before, we had the same goals, we wanted to accomplish the same things, but so many things would come in the middle of it. You know, the corporate job would get in the way, and we wouldn't be able to do what we wanted to do. So now, it's just up to us. Like, we have our schedule, we control our schedule, and so we definitely are very goal-oriented. I think one thing we're a bit more strict on is budgeting. So now we're being a bit more frugal, a bit more just very conscious about every dollar where it's going, and it's probably unnecessary, but at least for the first several months we want to be very frugal and very controlled, just make sure that we keep everything where it needs to be. And yes, our relationship is always very strong. So but I can really appreciate being, I guess, a stay-at-home work from home dad now. The daily tasks and toils and things and routine. Susie's built this blog to an amazing level while having to do all the amazing things of being a stay-at-home mom. So I have a huge appreciation for all of you who are following the path as well. Thank you.
So, all right, next one's for you.
Yeah, so the next question is from Kim Gamble. Are you taking time out of the day for breaks and for each other? Kind of. So I don't know if you've seen, I think Susie posted on her page the schedule. We're engineers, so we have hour-by-hour schedules. And for us, we try to have 2-hour work blocks, and this week's been a little bit weird because the kids are out of school, but we're trying our best to, have dedicated time where Susie's fully focused on the blog and I'm fully focused on the house and the kids and alternating off through that. And definitely if we feel that, that we just can't work right now, we're just not in the right headspace, we can take a pass and be together and just do full-time family stuff, which has been awesome for us. And I'm still working out my meal schedule. I don't know, we've heard some funny comments where I don't eat until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're working on that. That was one little gap in our planning process, but we'll get there. I need to lose the weight anyways, so it's probably a good thing. What's your take?
Are we taking time out of the day for breaks and for each other? Yes. I absolutely love, even if it's just like 15 minutes between work sessions, I can go down and discuss with him some ideas, or if I get stuck and I can't really sit up here in our office for 2 hours, and I'm just like, okay, an hour and a half, I'm done. I'm kind of stuck on this problem. I go downstairs, and he's like, oh, you're down early. I'm like, yes, I need to discuss something with you. I need help. So it's amazing having him here because I can just bounce ideas off of him all the time. And yes, we mentioned school, but our little girls are in preschool. So it's like 3 hours in the morning, 3 times a week. So yes, it's school, but it's really not that much school, so that's why John is here to help me.
But don't tell her that it's not school.
Yes,
to her, it is real school. She is loving it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, what's the next question?
All right, from Francisca Turner. How are you balancing life with the babies? Cleaning, working, shopping, napping, and how long did you plan to take this step? So last part of the question, it took us about 2 years before we actually got the guts to do this past December. 2 years of debating, should you quit your corporate job? Should we do this full time? What's the benefit of this? So it took a while. And then how are we balancing life with the babies? We have a schedule and it has post-it notes and it's hour by hour. We know exactly what we're doing. And that is so helpful because it's a visual indicator of what's expected from us for the day.
Yeah. Awesome. And also, about the how long did it take to plan this stuff? I know a lot of people have quit their job in way more, in not the same level where we are at now. Some people, they make a couple $1,000s a month, and they've done that for a few months, and they decide, okay, it's time to quit corporate and go all in on this. For us, and I guess for me, I wasn't trying to escape from my corporate job. I love my job. Like I was good at my job. My people appreciated me, and I had a good future there. It's just the present with my family is much better than the future with my company. So that was really the priority that I had to take on that one. That was cool, right? We just watched Winnie the Pooh, and so they're very present focused. I love that movie.
Yeah.
All right, and then as far as a couple of things that Susie didn't touch on, she's awesome. She has all these visual indicators. So now we have like bucket systems for our laundry. We learned about Instacart. Like people can help us like shop because it's really hard to go shopping with kids. So there's small little things that maybe they add like a little bit of cost, but they save so much headache and so much. It increases our brain space where we can actually work and earn more by being more productive during that time. So we've just learned the right little levers to pull to make us a little more efficient during our day.
Right. And just be happier. I would easily pay $5 for somebody else to go to Aldi and do all my shopping. And like, if you guys have shopped at Aldi, it's great. The prices are amazing, but man, it is stressful. Like you have to remember your quarter for the shopping cart. Then you have to remember bags. And then like,
quarter.
It is stressful. And sometimes the things aren't there that you need. And if you take the kids with you, then they want all the things. So yes, easily I will pay $5 or $6 for somebody else to come and deliver my groceries to my front door.
Although it looks a little weird if you look in our refrigerator, it's like barren.
Yeah.
We have only the food we like and only the food we need because we're like working out a really weird schedule where we know every week how much food we should be consuming, and so we can just reorder the same stuff every week, and our refrigerator will be bare like the day that we're nuts. Don't go to our level, but it's been really fun.
It's great.
It is great.
I think our level is awesome.
You open it up, it looks like we are really not doing well on the blog, but no, we're doing okay.
With milk and eggs and bread and spinach.
Because we buy all the other stuff that kids don't eat it. Like we get I'm becoming very much a dad. Like I'm learning all these little things, all these little tweaks.
We love Instacart.
Yeah, Instacart's awesome. I think it's
you or me?
Cheryl. All right. I really like hearing about all your systems. I work full-time and blog on the side. I could use some ideas about being super organized and intentional. So I'll start with this one. We kind of touched on some of our little systems there, but as far as the blogging specifically, what we have set up is 2-hour productive blocks. We found that, some tasks require that full 2 hours. And sometimes if you're going to very like high mental focus tasks, it can take a little while to even get into the swing of things. So, 1 hour wasn't enough, and anything longer than 2 hours, you start getting burned out, and YouTube starts coming out, and you start getting unproductive. So that worked for us. And what's great about that is if you have one session, and again, working full time, that this might not be working for you, but this is what is working for us right now. Is we can set one specific goal. When I go up, and I tell Susie like, hey, by the end of these next 2 hours, I need to have 3 lessons done on my next course, or whatever YouTube video I'm working on. I tell her this is my accountability. So she's kind of my partner, my accountability partner. And at the end of the day, I can kind of journal and say, hey, I checked this goal, I missed that goal, I checked that goal, and kind of self-regulate over time. So that's worked from a productivity perspective because I don't have a boss except for this one telling me what to do every single day. You, Susie?
Awesome. Hey, Cheryl. Thanks for commenting. Sorry. We're still sick. That's why I didn't go live this week because we're just like coughing up a storm.
Yeah.
Anyway, hi, Cheryl. The system. So the biggest things that were bothering me as a mom, just in general, kind of like clearing up that mental space. Because if I have a clear mental space and if I'm happy and positive, I'm a better blogger because I can actually be creative, right? So laundry was a huge thing for me. It was just laundry all the time. So what we know is the kids too, sweetie.
Stinky.
Instead of keeping our laundry baskets in our rooms, in our closets, we have them lined up, and I have a picture of that. I'll post it in the comments. We have them lined up in the laundry room. So whenever you have dirty laundry, you go put it in your basket. So Daddy has...
And you walk back naked.
You're a goof. So he has a basket. I have a basket. The girls have one basket because they share the same room. So all their clothes is in the same room. And then baby boy has a basket. So it's 4 baskets and then one for towels and like dishcloths. So as the basket gets full, that's the one that you have to go wash, do the laundry, dry it, and then fold it and pack it away. So it's one basket. It's already sorted to that specific person, and it's easy to do. So it's almost like one basket a day, and you'll just kind of see which one gets higher. And depending on whose shift it is, if I'm upstairs working and John's downstairs, he like takes care of the kitchen, and then he'll have to look at which basket he has to do. If they're not full, then he doesn't have to do one, and then vice versa. If I'm downstairs and he's upstairs working, then I'll take care of the kitchen and the kids, and then do a basket. So it works really well. Okay, so that's system number one, the laundry.
Very important.
Very important. Other one was grocery shopping. So Instacart is amazing for that. Like, just so much time and energy saved. Our meals could. Oh gosh, yeah, this one's good, right? Our dinners.
I love it.
Okay, so you guys, you're probably a little bit more somebody might be very health oriented or know more about this, but you know those ready-made bags that have like the rice and the veggies and the chicken already done, and you just heat it up in a skillet like a meal in a bag? Those are life-saving. So we're doing that now at night. Neither of us are good cooks, so we're doing like a frozen bag meal at night, and it's perfectly portioned for John and I and the kids, and it's almost just a little less than what we need, so it's like keeping us on our health goals. All right, so we're not overeating. So those bags are great. And then honestly, just having this time block system that we currently have. I know if you guys look at the schedule, John doesn't have any meals until like a snack at 2:00. So
I did not make the schedule.
So we might switch. Maybe some days I'll do his schedule and he'll do mine, or we'll switch it up and see kind of how we're gonna figure that out.
So I eat all day. Like I eat at my desk while I'm working. It's okay. It's what I did in corporate anyways. I'm used to it.
Sounds terrible.
This is my chain. This is my ball and chain. I'm just kidding. And besides, we drink protein shakes. Like for most of our like during the day meals. It's just a quick little blender, and you take that with you, and it's easy. So, and it's not because of like any health nut thing. It's honestly convenient. It gives you more steady energy. It doesn't like hit you with a high and a lull. So we love it.
I love protein shakes. So. And sometimes I make them with yogurt, so it's not like super protein shake, rah, look at my muscles. It's just very convenient. All right.
Alexia Mello Carrillo. How hard is it for me to shift from a 9 to 5 to staying home? I feel like the first week will feel like you're on vacation. Yeah. So actually the first week of me having quit was on vacation up in the mountains. And that was a really hard week. Obviously, traveling with 3 kids is hard in the first place, but it was hard because I so badly wanted to dive straight into the projects and go straight into what I have planned for the things I'm working on. And starting a new career, I guess you'd say, on vacation was hard. I know a lot of people want to quit their job and take like 6 months off and just like rest and recuperate. That's just not really our DNA. We kind of like to go. So that was a challenge. This week, however, I've tried to be as domestic as possible. What I mean by that is, so not in any particular order, but we've gone to like several different parks with all 3 kids while Susie's home kind of resting and chilling and working. So we've done parks. We've done the downtown public library, which is a very scary, dangerous place in our part of the world.
You're so brave.
It was very difficult. I will never do that again, but I learned a very valuable lesson. And just kind of spending time with the kids. And what's been probably the coolest thing for me is I'll wake up and I'll go and get a little man out of his crib in the morning, and he's starting to get it. He's starting to realize that, oh, Dad's like, he's actually going to be here almost every morning. It used to be like, oh, like the first time he saw me, and then the third time is like, oh, it's still pretty cool, but okay, now you're here. It's just normal. So the kids are becoming much more kind of clingy, and they just seem very appreciative, which I'm thrilled for. As far as missing my work, I'm very busy. I'm very busy here. So it hasn't hit me yet. I'm preparing for it to eventually hit me. I'm sure it will. Like I said earlier, like I didn't dislike my job. I like my family more. So I'm sure there'll be a time where I'll kind of miss that chapter of life. But like all things, like I can't live in the past. I have to live here and be thinking about what's coming in the future. And we had talked about it. I helped a lot of people in my corporate job, but I think that being able to, understanding this world of blogging and of influencing other people, there's more people I can help when I have full control over my future and decisions. So I'm excited for the future. I've kind of starting a little blog myself. We'll talk about that later on. I don't want to mess that up in this video here, but I'm the techie, geeky kind of research and development department for Start a Mom blog. So I'm kind of doubling down on that for my own hustles as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
So beneficial for me. It's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I just want to touch on like you could have stayed corporate, but we were at the park today and with the kids, and it was the middle of the day. It was amazing, like having my husband there. I'm just like, we're gonna give our kids completely different lives with having John here full time, having me not as stressed, having John not spend 10, 12 hours at a job. It's gonna completely change our 3 little kids' lives, and that's just what means so much to me. And there was something else I wanted to say, and now I'm pulling a Michael Scott, and I'm just gonna keep
Just
talking.
keep talking until you figure out what it was you're trying to say.
What was it?
Well, I have one more thing I could say while you're thinking about it. Is while we were at the park, what I had noticed was I saw a lot of other dads there. And so I'm just starting to see this trend. And I have a real estate broker I'm good friends with, and I help him with some projects as well. And a couple of days ago, he brought his one foster baby girl that he adopted. I love that guy and his family. And I was there with our 3. And I was just looking around, we were talking about it, that, there are more and more men that are starting to see through kind of the corporate, stereotype of this is what life is. This is what life has to be. And not that a lot of you probably think that's not true at all. You have husbands that do non-traditional type of work. But I think there's a huge opportunity of seeing that's not the way that it has to necessarily be. Because I was stuck that way, and the way I was raised is that was what the man did. The man went to the office, the man came home, had dinner, and did it over and again. And it's a great childhood that I had. It's still a great relation with my dad. But seeing what's possible now, I'm really excited to see how much we can help other dads who have that same vision. It's not for everybody, but if they have that vision, be able to achieve it.
Awesome.
Do you think about it?
Yes. Thank you for giving me that minute.
You're welcome.
Got it. I know John was worried about, will the kids appreciate that we actually still work? Because he's not going to his corporate job every day. Do they actually know that mommy and daddy are working and not just spending all day with them? I think they even see that more now. Because it's like passing the baton. We go up and down the stairs and okay, it's my 2 hours to go work, and then it's daddy's 2 hours to go work. And it's not like he leaves in the morning, they don't even see him. Then they just see him come back at 5 o'clock in the evening. Where were you, Dad? You were gone all day. They actually see us working now. So I do think they still will get that amazing work ethic.
Awesome.
All right, so we have 3 more questions.
This was you.
No, you're better at reading.
Oh. All right. Rachel says, healthcare. Oh, fun. Now that each of you provide your own, how are you deciding what he should work on for the blog versus you? Is he going to start his own blog, or is it more beneficial to work on yours? Great question. So I'm a little confused because the first thing was healthcare, but then it's all blogging related questions. So, okay. So, healthcare related questions, we signed up for MetaShare. All excited for that. I can't make recommendations for you guys, but from what we've seen, it looks like a great option. I'm sure we'll do blog posts and more information about that as we get more into it, but our coverage doesn't officially start until February, so we'll pray for us and our health for the next few days before we get some form of coverage. Now, as far as how do we decide on what I work on for the blog versus you? Like I said earlier, I help with the techie things and a lot of the strategy things. What we found with Susie is, she has amazing vision and direction on what she's doing, but sometimes anybody falls prey to this. If you're always looking at the problem, you can't kind of zoom out and see the bigger picture. And so anybody can stand in that role, whether it's your significant other, your friend, or whatever, of helping you kind of look back and look at the bigger picture. So I help her with that. But what I've been working on a lot myself is my own website is incomemesh.com. I think she'll put it in the description, but the goal of that is for me to help people like yourselves or anybody who's starting online businesses figure out what technology, what tools, what membership solutions, what teaching solutions to do, because I like learning about these things. For whatever reason, I really get engaged trying to learn a new tool and figure it out. So I help make recommendations, do reviews, and I have some client work that I'm doing as well that I'm starting on that website. So if you want to check it out, I'm spending a lot of time on that recently, getting everything working and humming just right. In the short term, it would probably be more beneficial if I worked on Start a Mom blog instead of my own thing, but I wouldn't want to put all eggs in one basket. Yeah. So I think it's important that we have different revenue streams, different monetization strategies. So that's the way that I'm going with that one.
Yeah, and it works really well for us to have different projects that we're working on so that we can collaborate on ideas, but we both have our own spaces where we're actually implementing and testing things. It's really good for our relationship to have separate projects where we can focus our energy. And when I'm stuck on something, I'm like, John, what's the best solution for this? have you tested out these tools? And he's like, yeah, I've tested out 20 tools. Which one do you want to test? Because I know the tools that I like and I know what I use, but sometimes I'm like, well, maybe there should be something better. Maybe I can do this a little differently. And John's the type of person that likes to test things and break them and see if they work and see if they mesh together. So awesome niche for him and super helpful for me because it's like my R&D department.
Yeah. It's also going to be helpful for you guys as well because,
yeah.
like Susie said, she knows the tools that work for her. It may be the right tool for you. It may not be for where you're at in your particular part in your business.
Yeah.
So I can help provide a couple of those recommendations as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Especially for our advanced people.
Yeah.
Okay. LaDonna says, I would like to know how you arrange your days now with John being home full time. So as we mentioned, we have a schedule. We follow it almost to the T. I think it'll be better next week when the little girls are back in their part-time preschool, just so that we know, okay, we have to get up at 8. We have to be out the door at 9. We have to pick them up at noon. And we have a little bit more structure to our days. Right now, we're doing super well. Like, you take 2 hours, I take 2 hours, and we switch back and forth. And I haven't once this week been overwhelmed with the kids and the blog and the house. Because normally all 3 things would just pile on, and I would just not lose it, but I would just I would feel so overwhelmed as a mom trying to be a good mom to the kids, trying to keep the house clean, and then trying to answer comments and write a blog post. So it's so nice to have focus time for when I can be with the family and then when I can take a 2-hour sprint and work on the blog.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, a couple things on that is not that we wake up at 8 o'clock or have to wake up at 8 o'clock. Our schedule starts at 5. Like we do like the early mornings. That's before the kids wake up and we get a lot of quiet work done there, a lot of thinking. Our brains are clear. And then on the other side of that, like I said, we came back from vacation a few days ago. And normally it would take us about a week or 2 weeks to fully unpack everything, get all the laundry done and caught up. And I think after the first day, or definitely by the end of the second day, all the laundry was done, the house was clean, because we knew that, okay, for this time we have some domestic stuff to take care of. If you're not upstairs on the blog and you're in your home, don't leave the house. Just go and help get the house in order. So doing the laundry, all the systems we talked about, I feel weird even talking about this. Like it's actually, it makes a ton of sense. And we've been I think pretty well with it.
Awesome.
Alrighty, so last one is Melissa Mayer, and she asked, we're looking at starting a grandma blog when we retire. I'd love to hear how you guys work together. So we've talked about that for the majority of the video. I think the one thing I would say that's unique to that is we each know what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And because of that, we can work on our own projects, but we know, I know if I hear Susie talking about something that I might have some input on or some ideas on, I know how to approach her and making sure that we always keep relationship first, and then finding that right tactful way of trying to provide that guidance, because we're a team. We're not supposed to be identical and having the exact same thoughts or the exact same ideas on everything, but it's figuring out how to work best together. And I think every relationship is different.
So yes, Melissa, we are a great team. We love working together. We do, like John mentioned, we know our weaknesses and our kind of sensitive points. So I know where not to press John, and he knows where not to press me. And when we do overstep that, we're like, oh goodness, what did I do? And we're very quick to apologize. I try to be as quick as possible to just, hey, I'm sorry. I know I messed up, and I know John does the same. So that's really helpful, because I think in the back of our minds, we know we're in this for the long run. So it's better to apologize quickly and just get it over than to kind of hold on to it. And then it's going to mess up the rest of the day, and it just kind of snowballs. So thank you for quitting your job and choosing us and coming home. I really appreciate it. I love you. You're amazing. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys have any more questions, just let us know.
I love you too.
Thank you, sweetie. Bye.
See ya.